I don't think I've ever been asked that question in my life, not even by myself. And some of you may be offended that I actually took the time to think about it. You may even be offended that I'm about to tell you, because I wrote it down. The worst part about dating someone trans is... what's up, rebels? My name's Willie. I am one half of Leo and Willie. We are engaged, we are queer. And today I am here to answer all the burning questions you instantly have after reading the title of this video. Like, Willie, have you lost your damn mind? Willie Scarcella? Willie White? Willie Angel? The offensive Willie? Oh, babies, the title of this video is actually just one of many ambiguous questions I have had in my DMs since our channel started doing a little better. As well as actually answering the title of this question, I'll be telling you a little bit more about what prompted this video. It's gonna be very unfiltered. I'm not gonna lie to you, this isn't scripted. I've written some part of the answers which I'll grab the laptop for, but besides that, this is all gonna be me and you speaking like I like to, keeping it real, keeping it authentic. If you want to pause me at any time, please do, and just add to the conversation, because it is a conversation between me and you, and I would love to hear your thoughts. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So me and Leo have been together for some years now. I've obviously very proudly shown my partner off quite publicly, way before YouTube, but I'll be honest and say that it wasn't until YouTube that I really started to wear my queer title proudly. I think that's something you have given me, and thank you for that. I started taking YouTube seriously April 2024, right? Our life was changing so much, and we just wanted this time capsule, right, of Leo's transition, and just something to memorialize this like fun and weird energy that we love about each other, and we're learning yous love about us. And so yeah, it's a great decision, and we're glad we did YouTube, 110%. I think the channel pushed us to about 400 subscribers in April 2024, and we were feeling good about it. I'm not even gonna lie to you, like I say, we kept changing our goalposts because you all surprised us. But initially it was 500 for the whole year, so we got that like a quarter of the year, we got 400, and we were like, we're so close. And we were feeling good, we were glowing. Yeah, we were feeling really good. I think as much as like me and Leo are generally quite like happy and loud on the internet, you know, we do have our own insecurities, and I think insecurities that actually bond us sometimes. Nothing traumatic, but like just like everyone else, it has been surprising to see how people respond to us. I can definitely say being seen has been insane. There's something about being validated that makes you realize that for a long time of your life, you are right. And that's kind of scary, but also a W. YouTube is really me learning and unlearning a lot. And even though we didn't start the internet when we were 14, like most of your faves, we are still growing up on the internet. I think it was around April, maybe May, where I went into Instagram, and there were a lot of messages from people who had something to say about me and my relationship, particularly pertaining to Leo being trans. And I just want to be clear and say that like it wasn't like all done in one day. It was accumulation, but at this point I wasn't really using my Instagram much. For 2025, I'm going to be using my Instagram actually so much more. So it's been to do with like my own like self-confidence, the stalking, and I'm reclaiming that. So go and follow me. Go and follow me right now at Auntie Willie, and I want to get to 5,000 followers. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, so like because I wasn't using it as frequently, it felt like one big like, I don't know, like just dog pile of like, I won't lie, I will say it shocked me. Maybe I was living in a bit of a YouTube bubble for a bit, but I didn't know that, you know, an ex of mine was transphobic. He's an ex for a reason, and I also don't even follow him back, so I had no idea why he was following me, you beg. And I say that because to be told by him that I should come back to him when I want some big, real, in capital letters, is uncomfortable in so many ways, and also a lie. Hey, if you're gonna make these comments, please make sure you actually have the size to back it up, because my partner has straps bigger than you. So I will come back to you when I want some. Is it actually in dick? I had ex-friends telling me, and a lot of them telling me, that my partner is actually a gay man, and I'm his beard, because they didn't feel like Leo was masculine enough, and I was this alpha, and he was using me in this long-winded way to eventually come out as a gay man. I want to tell you that I instantly blocked, well, I did my ex, but instantly blocked the ex-friends. And you know, I went to Leo and we had this super mature conversation, but actually I didn't. I stared at these comments until I cried and I internalized them, I kept them in, and I also allowed them to have so much power. Like, they upset the shit out of me, and I'll be honest and say an intrusive part of me actually started to question whether I was Leo's beard. The thing is with intrusive thoughts is they're like Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses, right? They be knocking whether you want them there or not. But to keep the like metaphor going, I allow this Jehovah's Witness in. Like, I was making this bitch dinner. Like, it was intrusive and it was there and it kept getting bigger to the point where I was starting to mentally put Leo's mannerisms under a microscope in a very ignorant way. And yeah, it wasn't good. That's embarrassing to admit, you know? Like, I'm online doing up "What's up, rebels?" but behind the scenes, I'm questioning whether he actually wants me. And this wasn't even something I'd shared with him at this point. This was just something that a couple of friends had been sharing, and it really just got to me, and unfortunately it got to me at a time where I wasn't even feeling good about life. Very depressive part of my life, and so things got to me a lot, like, easier, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't have taken someone, I don't know, it wouldn't have taken someone a long time to knock me down, basically. I was barely standing, so you could have blown me down, be honest. And it just came at the wrong time. Like, the internet and online was doing good, but we were still dealing with like the monster-in-law behind the scenes. So I was drained, and there was so much negativity coming from every direction. And so, yeah, I did question stuff, and I eventually did obviously go to Leo about this. And it went just as well as you can imagine. He was incredibly upset. And I think I unintentionally though gaslit him, because for me, obviously gay isn't a bad word, but I was making that the focus. Like, why are you so upset that I'm calling you gay? Like, what the hell? Like, that's so gaslighty, right? Because that's not the issue. We call each other and ourselves gay on the internet all the time. It's the fact that I'm equating his like mannerisms to a sexuality in it by using ignorant tropes. And there were things that, whilst he's on his journey, and he's, you know, early on in his journey as well, not really passing to the world, there are things that he really doesn't want to bring, you know, to attention. And to think that your partner is watching them, then also using them to be biphobic, because essentially I am. I'm saying like, oh yeah, maybe he is just gay. You know what I mean? And I wasn't trying to, and I didn't even realize I was. I was just communicating how I felt. And it took, oh, yeah, okay. Report. Honestly, after Leo explained more to me about like how he felt, and how he felt like it was also like in a weird way misgendering in the way that I was saying it, at least, I was so embarrassed. Like, I really was. I am even embarrassed now to admit all this to you. But I was embarrassed. I was so apologetic, of course. But to be honest with you, the damage was done, and Leo needed his time and his space to deal with that. And I needed to separately go and do some work. And so I went to do some work. If you asked me, January 2024, if I was, or maybe even like the end of 2023, if I was super comfortable with my partner potentially wearing a dress, which Leo had expressed in the beginning that he might want to do at some point, some gender fuckery shit, let's get it. I would have told you then that I don't know if I'm comfortable, which is crazy, right? You don't perceive me as that person right now. And I think it's super important for me to talk to you about these moments, because if no one's talking about them, then a lot of people are going to keep pretending that they don't happen, and you're going to end up hurting yourself and other people. So, hey, let's grow together. I was thinking about the reasons I wasn't really like comfortable with the idea of Leo wearing a dress. And I think it was linked, well, the majority was linked to everyone else, not necessarily me. It's, oh my God, I'm really trying to get my mum to call you he right now. I don't know what to do if she says her when you wear a dress, like, because I think she will. You know, you're early on in your transition. If you wear a dress right now, I think the world will misgender you. I think you're going to feel like shit. And then honestly, you know, away from that bullshit, let's keep it 100 and let's really self-police and be self-aware. I don't know how I feel about that. You know, I don't know if I'm attracted to a dude in a dress, and that's crazy to admit, but I actually don't know if I am. Yes, I love gender fuckery. Yes, I'm gender fuckery myself. Yes, I'm around people who are gender fuckery, but am I sexually attracted to that? I don't know. You know what I mean? I actually didn't know. And so there was a lot of worry there for me. And I'll be real, like Leo's sense of fashion is growing, but his idea of some of the dresses he wanted to wear were like, they were really out there, but like even during the day, like it wasn't like, this is the nightwear. It was like, let's go. And to be honest with you, he would have ate that shit up. He would have ate it up. But again, this is me being very honest. I just wasn't in a place of my life personally where I even, like, just the depression was hard. And so this was a point in my life where I was working 3 jobs, but I was only leaving the home really to do work. I didn't feel comfortable leaving the house for anything else. You know, I didn't want to interact. I didn't have friends around. I was not good. The idea of going out with, by Leo's own words, you know, wants to look good, wants the attention, wants people to tell him he looks young, was not what my doctor ordered anyway. I didn't need that. I wasn't in a social place where I could be out with anyone who wanted attention, because I needed to be out and mentally just get through a day. Does that make sense? Like, it's a completely different thing. It's about like knowing how much energy you personally have. And normally, yeah, let's fucking get it, let's go crazy. But during this period of my life, honestly, no. Like, no, I don't want to deal with anyone right now. Like, I barely want to leave my house. Like, the idea of me going 3 jobs when I can, you know, I'm struggling to like wash. Like, that's not a time where I need you to be doing up shimmy, shimmy, shimmy on a train. Like, I just don't. And that sounds really savage, but it's my truth. And I think it's important that I speak my truth. And I did say that to Leo. I was like, Leo, I'm just not in a place right now where I have time for this attention you want. Like, go out with someone else, but does it have to be with me? Like, I don't want to go out when you're in a place where you just want to shimmy. Like, I don't feel good. Why can't you wait for me to feel better at least? Or like, you know, there was so much going into that. And it was really heavy and hard to explain. And there was a lot, but there was also a lot of shame for me as well. Was I embarrassed of Leo? The idea of him wearing a dress? I don't know. And I think I realized, and this is me being really real, that it was harder for me to disprove the fact that Leo obviously would like me too. He is not gay if he's also wearing a dress. That's how I felt in my head. Like, my friends think this already. When you are mass presenting, if you are femme presenting, it's over. Like, they're just gonna come for me. And I felt very much about myself. How is this going to affect my life? I'll be honest with you, I had a lot of self-work to do in a way that, let's be real, people don't really want to admit, because I didn't want to admit. I was like, what? I'm woke as fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Some of the work that I had to do, right? I'll be honest with you, it really included just me just like watching a bunch of dudes, like, and I'm talking dude, cis, trans, all the above, like every subcategory of dude, who were very open with dressing more like gender fuckery. And I loved it. And I was just a bit confused with myself. And I was like, oh, you love this. You know what I mean? Like, I do. And I was like, why am I letting these people make me feel like, not the eyelash on the lips, sis. Not like, I don't know, like people making me feel bad about it really got to me. And I'm embarrassed because I'm like, God, you're so strong. How did you let like these feeble, weak-headed, donkey fish fried plantains get into your head like that? But they really did, yeah. So like I said, I watched a bunch of people. I also did a lot of like research on just cultures in general. There are a lot of like tribal men who wear things that mimic dresses. There are a lot of like other cultures. Scottish men wear kilts and look gorgeous wearing them. Like, there's so much masculinity that can still exist in a dress. You know, young blood looks amazing in a dress. And I'm so glad I unlearned that shame. Like, it's a shame that has been given to me. It's a shame that's been bashed into me from family members even, you know. I've been told that I have put shame on my family several times for being with a trans dude. Especially shame on my dead dad, especially him. I get told it a lot, more times than I think I even care to admit on the internet, but it's a lot. It's hard. If my family, you know who you are, the people who say happen to be watching this, it really sucks. And that shame was absorbed by me. I took on the shame and then I passed on the shame to Leo, and I am not fully at a place where I've unlearned it. I have for Leo, like, bruh, do what you want. If Leo wants to wear a dress now, I'll wear tux to match. Like, you want to wear hair clips, bitch, butterflies or ladybugs, I'll pick them up myself. Yeah, I'm really glad I have worked on that shame for sure. Like I said, there's still more to go, but I'm really glad I am, because I do feel better. You know what I mean? Like, I do. I feel like my content's better. I think it's unfiltered in a way that I think for some people may teeter on, you know, if that's the best way to say it. But I think it's allowed me to be really open and have some really honest conversations with people in the comment sections that have challenged me or affirmed me, or, you know, all of it in some ways growth. You know, and I love that. I love that. And also, I want to have kids one day. And so the sort of shame that I was dealing with before, I couldn't have had kids. And I didn't even realize, you know what I mean? I would have passed on generational trauma for sure. The sort of shame that I have now is linked to maybe letting down the family. That's a whole thing and another story, I think, and another video one day, which I think people will find really relatable. So that's for another day. I love the fact that I'm a queer person. I love it. And I love that Leo's a bisexual man. Like, I love that we can sort of like watch our shows and sort of like talk about anyone, you know, without the gender confining the attraction. We can be like, oh, he, she, they are cute, you know, and it's just fun to have that sort of thing. And, you know, he's a bisexual trans man. He's lived a very specific life, and that life has actually lent itself to him understanding me better. Yeah, I love it. And it's so interesting, and this is not in a way to quantify Leo's bisexuality, but me and Leo always laugh about the fact that his like bisexuality is like women and like Saeed and Lost. He likes Saeed and Lost. So just to have like people really mess with my head over something that I know is objectively not true is just, it shows you that you have to be careful about the type of people you keep around you. And that's something that in 2025, I'm going to be so much more careful about. Like, anyone can catch these strays. Like, I don't care if we're blood related or not. Like, you can't allow people to make you feel ashamed for just being you and loving the person who you love for being them. You know, it's not fair. And if you're not in that place, like I wasn't, I don't think it's fair to your partner. And honestly, Leo wasn't. The thing is, you know, he had a very mum, and so, you know, in that sense we sort of like weirdly cancel each other out. We probably have way more understanding for each other because we both had our own bullshit, but if Leo didn't have that, and he was like, you know, in a really comfortable place with who he was, and he was like, you know, being really affirmed at home, and I came in and had all these stupid ignorant questions and things that, you know, I had some growing up to do, then, you know, I could have been kicked to the curb, and I'm lucky I wasn't. Leo's life allows him to come online and speak about experiences that really inspire and help people. And I think that's freaking awesome. You know, that's what I hope and aim to do with stories like this, you know, talk openly about my internalized bullshit. Because I saw, for the record, I was on Reddit, and it's so weird to catch a comment about you on Reddit. It's a comment in a while, and it was positive. I didn't respond because I got really like nervous and cringed out, but like they were really sweet and they were leaving nice comments. And then I actually searched my name and I was like, oh my god, like there's a lot of nice shit on the internet about us, you know. I'm not gonna lie and say this is the first time I searched my name. But it was like it was really lovely. I saw that comment come up, and they said that they really like how authentic and honest we are, and so I would like to keep that authentic and honesty, even if it doesn't immediately make you like me. At least it allows you to trust me, and at least it allows you to see the human in me, because we're not perfect. We're people who are online, and like I said, we're still growing online. And it's important that we don't present ourselves in a way that leads to this like perfection that people are just aiming for, because that's not us. We did therapy, we had learning and unlearning to do, and that's both me and Leo, yeah? So like, yeah, it's just like you. Now we're getting a little bit more to the actual title of this video. I don't really use Instagram much, like I said, but 2025 I am. So once again, go add me. Let's get to 5,000. And I did get a message on Boxing Day. And the message I received, this one I might be looking down a little bit because I've got like some things up in front of me. And they asked me, yeah, what are the worst parts about dating someone trans? And I'll be real, I was confused. And then a little bit angry. And I was like, okay, like go chill for a bit, take a gummy and game, and I still felt a bit annoyed, you know what I mean? I was like, what the hell? I don't know if I handled it well. I think a part of me was like, we're gonna make up for the past. And I will say, I said something. It was a tense Boxing Day, and my energy was not to be messed around with. Oh my gosh, all these caveats, bitch. What did you say? So I said, what's the worst parts about dating? Insert their ethnicity. I know. They gave me a little match. I threw fire. They gave me a tit. I threw back tats. So this person, as I knew them in the past, they were presenting as a woman. The biggest plot twist is they feel like they are trans man. This is something we were discussing. So I'm just trying to be very careful with like how much language I use. And just to be clear, they are aware about this video. But yeah, they are a trans dude. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't, I wasn't following them before this, but when I went, I was like, oh man, if I saw the day at least in their profile, I would have been like, oh, maybe it's not a mean comment, there's just curiosity. But as I thought and what I perceived was this sort of like straight religious woman coming to me with some nonsense, and that just couldn't be the truth. They actually said, and I'm gonna go to this again, like I said, because I don't want to get their words wrong. And their pronouns online is they. They said they're not ready to use he, so that's why I'm using they. They were trying to ask me, I wasn't trying to offend you. Wait, sorry. Just go to the bit where it's actually relevant. Okay, people online always talk about the good parts of their relationship, and I want to know any potential behaviors that people don't speak about online so that I can be good for going into relationships when I'm open enough to do the same. And I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, that changed the whole vibe, right? This isn't you asking because you're a twat. This is you like doing extra credit, your homework, I don't know. And I said to them, I need some time to think about that, because I don't think I've ever been asked that question in my life, not even by myself. And some of you may be offended that I actually took the time to think about it. You may even be offended that I'm about to tell you, because I wrote it down. And I told him I will respond to him if he's okay with it, like as part of the video, and he'll see the video first, and then he'll approve it, whether this can go out. Because I actually think it's quite important. And I think there are a lot of different subjects that I'm talking about here, of shame, of how gender fuckery and all that stuff can still be, quite ignorantly described by people like myself who still come online and try to do the right thing, and people who myself who come online and don't give a fuck about gender themselves, It's there where we make mistakes. But yeah, so I really wanted to know the answer, because if you've never been asked something before, you don't know the answer. That's the thing, you know what I mean? Like, I generally don't know. And so I wrote something and I did want to share it with you. This is my unfiltered answer. The worst part about dating someone trans is knowing that the response to transphobia has to be led by them. What I mean by this, it's not okay to speak over your partner when it comes to trans issues, and that includes transphobia. Leo is clear about how he likes that handled, how he likes misgendering handled, and they don't always align with my natural reaction or my reaction after gaming with a gummy. The truth is, transphobia makes me boil inside in a way that I'm not sure is even healthy. To see my partner be referred to as an it and not immediately drag the person so filthily their ancestors feel it is incredibly hard. I shouldn't have looked up because I don't even know where I am. Really, just stick with the script. Don't be doing up extras. I might banter about it, but behind the scenes I struggle, and Leo has had to hold me a few times whilst I cry about comments made about him. And I feel like I'm making it worse. Brush it off, Willie. This isn't even about you, right? But isn't it? How can I love someone and not be hurt by it? And how do I find that balance of being hurt in a way that still centers his response? It's tricky. It's also unaccepting and in some cases abusive family. This isn't everyone's experience, but this is mine and Leo's. We get so much crap. On Christmas, we even had a lovely message from someone in Leo's family comparing our life to eating pig shit. And that was just a lovely way to start Christmas. And the truth is, if either of us were born a cis dude to the other's AFAB, we wouldn't have that shit. So it's directly linked to our queer and Leo's transness. Like every couple, we argue, we get things wrong, and that's just because we're people, not because I'm cis and Leo's trans. We were born into families that were never ready for their kids to love this way. We were born into a world that wasn't completely ready for us to love this way, but we do. We've argued, we've shouted. In the past, we've also broken up. We've taken space when we need it. When we argue or cuddle or anything, we don't do these things trans and cisly. So to the person who inspired this, the worst thing about dating someone trans is other people's ignorance, their projection, their bashful religious verses taken out of context to get validation from a God who preaches not to judge. To the person who asked, I genuinely hope you are asking from a place of curiosity and not from a place of shame. I've been there, you've heard it, it's crushing, it's draining, and the quicker you allow yourself to get rid of that shame, the quicker you'll genuinely enjoy just being you. But hey, if it's from a place of curiosity, because you want to be the best partner in the world to someone one day, I think just asking these questions means you'll do all right. Thanks for watching. Love yous. Bye.